JamiaTV, beacon for the nation.
They say brighter day is evident in the morning. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning and welcome to the Muslim Insight Show. My name is Zamzam Ahmed and my sign language interpreter is Rukia Machu. This day, the 13th day of February 2026, we are going to talk about self-development with the help of a psychologist here with me in studio. Her name is Amina Hussein Adan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Zamzam.
How are you doing?
I'm good, alhamdulillah.
I know this is the first time for you to be here on JamiaTV, and I really appreciate you coming here, honoring the request. Perhaps for a person who's seeing you for the first time, who is Amina Hussein?
Okay, Zamzam, as you've mentioned, my name is Amina Hussein Adan. I am a psychologist by profession, a mental health advocate. I work with people to help them to get a better understanding of the self, improve on their mental health, and also emotional well-being.
Oh, mashallah, that is really amazing. And I believe that mental health is something that is really something that we should be talking about on a daily basis because people are being affected.
Yeah.
Okay, now to our topic, self-development from a psychological perspective, from a point of psychological view. What does true self-development really mean?
People have a different way of defining self-development because it's something personal to everyone. But from a psychological perspective, is the lifelong, continuous and intentional process whereby you get to improve yourself emotionally, psychologically, mentally, spiritually, socially, and spiritually. Yes.
Okay. Now,
So.
Go on.
This includes part of it is healing from unresolved issue, past traumas, and then getting into now growth, learning new skill, learning new language, improving in emotional regulation, having a connection with a superior being. Also, part of it is physically, which is going to the gym, sleeping early, having a balanced diet, and taking care of yourself. That is grooming. And also mentally, in terms of how we look at problems, in terms of our mindset, in terms of how we view general life. You'll find that our mindset really controls our self-development because that's where it starts. Yes.
Okay, so this means that self-development is, I won't just wake up and say I'm self-developed. I must check my emotional well-being, my physical well-being, spiritually, mentally, and everything.
Yes.
And I've heard you mention about balanced diet, meaning the diet. Okay, that's really amazing. Now, something else people don't understand is whether self-development, is it about healing the past or building the future?
It's a combination of the two. You have to build a bridge between the two because once you focus on your past, it means that you'll get stuck and stagnated. You'll be unable to move. But if you only concentrate with your future, that means that these patterns, the behavior patterns that you used to, that affects you through your past, it will keep on repeating itself. And then it's just, you can't build a future on a weak foundation. You can't build a house that the foundation is not firm and strong. So that means in the long run, that house is going to crumble.
So as per you, do you think that the past being the foundation of self-development, do you think it is something that we should hold on to it or just let it pass?
Not holding on to it per se, but healing through it. Mostly we find that for people who have experienced like a negative past, this stems from trauma, abuse. So you'll find that if they hold on to it, they'll be unable to move. They'll be unable to desire the self-development because they have prior history of failure. So it's it's something that's against self-development. We have to work on the past, then now move to the future.
Okay, from the definition you've mentioned about self-development, what it really means, you mentioned about emotionally, spiritually. Perhaps you can explain deeply, why is all this connected to self-development?
Because when you are starting your growth, you can't start everywhere. You have to have a baseline. Where am I starting from? For self-development to happen, the key foundation is self-awareness, the ability to understand your emotion, your triggers, your strengths, your weaknesses, your coping mechanism. Once you've understood that, you are able to pick up which area of life, which area of my life I want to make changes. So is it, maybe if you find a point that is maybe weaker than the others, spiritually, how am I connected to my superior being? Not even superior being per se, because not everyone believes in a superior being. So finding something to connect with that will bring you inner peace. So spiritually, what am I supposed to do? If for per se a Muslim, how can I improve in my spirituality? Maybe start with reading the Quran, or gaining more knowledge and insight of the Quran, and understanding the Hadith and all these things. It can be by starting fasting Mondays and Thursdays. It can be by waking up once a week for tahajjud. It helps you to grow your connection with Allah.
Okay.
And socially, understanding also, improving on your communication will help you in terms of your career. How do you interact with your colleague? In terms of building your relationship, how can I have a healthy relationship whereby I can communicate my feelings? I can communicate when I'm angry, when I don't want to do something. For mentally, is mostly to do with our mindset, and that the most hindrance to it is cognitive distortion. In a way, our childhood experience mold how we think and how we perceive the world. So once you work on those beliefs, those negative self-talk, then you can be able to move forward. Then for socially, spiritually, I've talked about. Physically, we've talked about balanced diet and so on.
What about emotionally? Is emotionally same case to mentally?
No, it's a different case, because emotion, it's how we behave, how we act. So with our emotion, most of us have learned this. I believe most of what we know, what we've learned, stems from our childhood and our life experiences. So emotional regulation is knowing how to respond, and also part of it, learning emotional intelligence, whereby you understand yourself, you understand your emotion and how it affects you and how it affects other people. Yes.
Okay. Most people find it very hard for them to adjust, to change. And my question will be, why do people struggle to change when, or even when they clearly know what's good for them?
So we think that once we know our problem, it will be so easy for us to dive into change. But per se, there are factors that hinder us, and there are barriers to change. So one of the main one is our brain.
Okay.
So our brain is wired and created in a way to protect us. Its first instinct is our safety. So normalcy, routine, habits feel safe. So once you introduce change, it's something new. So our brain will be so quick to fight it and block it. And once we are willing to change, we try it once, our minds block it, then we stop. Because we have to do something repeatedly so that our brain can take it up. Yes. The other factor is fear of unknown and fear of failure. Fear of unknown is the uncertainties that come with change. In as much it might look healthy, this is something new. So your mind is like, am I going to be successful? How hard is it? So the unknown is what we are scared of. And also the factor of comfort, our comfort zone. Routine is safety, so we don't want to put a lot of effort. So new thing requires a lot of effort, requires a lot of patience, requires a lot of resilience, and that's not something that comes really easy to us. The other factor is lack of support and resources. So you find that you are willing to change, but people around you are holding you back. There's an Arabic saying that says, "As-sahibu sahib." Say your friend is who you are. So maybe you are an addict. So you find that you really want to stop using drugs, but the people who you are surrounding, they are the people that you usually use that drug with. So once you try to change, once maybe you want to go to a rehab, they are like, you think that you are better than us, you feel like you have outgrown us, nowadays you feel higher than us. So people are scared of that. And also resources, you want to learn a new skill, you want to join a short course, but finances can't allow you to do that. Other factor is cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is whereby there is a conflict between your belief and your behavior. I gave an example of drug addiction. We know that drug is harmful to our health, but we continuously do it. Then when you question it, there's a sense of shame. There's a sense of why I can't call myself out. So you are unable to change because you are like, this character, it's mine, and I don't want to call it out. I don't want to feel shameful about doing that thing. So you don't want to change because of that. The last one is our attachment to our identity. You'll find that I'm not trying to throw rocks at anyone, but there are some people who live in their old identity. You'll find that a good example is people who have gone to high national school. So you'll find every time they are introducing themselves like, I'm from Alliance. So their identity is linked to that success. They don't believe that they can amount to something more than that. So, or people talking about, I was happy when I was a kid, so we cling on to our old identity. So change means that we feel like we are leaving that identity behind. Yes.
So it's all about who I am, not where I come from, right?
Yes.
When you talk about coming from, or rather studying in a national schools like Alliance, or maybe in county schools, maybe in Korogosho, the areas whereby people feel like education is really limited to them. Perhaps someone who this person is without what he has been doing, where he comes from. Wow, that's really amazing. You know, as a psychologist, perhaps, I believe there are people who come to you when it comes to self-development, or rather getting, what is it called, advice from you. So how often do you get people to come and ask for advice, and what kind of advice do they seek?
For mostly you'll find that people know what they want, but they are afraid to seek it. Some unconsciously, subconsciously don't know what they want. So for you, it's to give them a sense of direction and a sense of guide. Especially most of it is, part of it is change, because you are aware that these are unhealthy pattern. This behavior are not suiting your life, but you are so scared to start. I think the main hindrance to self-development is starting, because we are so focused on the result, but we are not focused on the effort. So when you are so focused or oriented on the result, you'll find that you will not appreciate the progress. So mostly it's to do with the mental health, and to do with career-wise, with addiction, with general life, feeling stuck, feeling stagnated in terms of life.
Okay. Now, because you are talking about also change, everything is about change, and change is inevitable.
Yes, that's
now,
true.
if we want to succeed in life, or if we want to develop ourselves, then perhaps we should embrace change. As per you, what do you think change is all about?
Change depends on your personal beliefs and values, because sometimes you are so focused on our society, conforming to the community, or a comparison. So you'll find that we compare our change to other people, but change is about you. Where do you feel that you have a deficiency? Where do you feel that you lack? What habits do you think that are going to help you progress in life? So it's more personal compared to, it can be in terms of if you're in a group setup, or in terms of community, but mostly it's something personal, and you should align it to your beliefs and values.
Now, you know, we have people who come from a society whereby they fear when they go back home, what will these people say? what have you been doing where you are? Like, for example, let me take an example for me. I don't want to use anybody else. Okay, I'm not saying that is how things happen in our area, but for example, I come from Isiolo, and I left Isiolo to come to Nairobi to work. People from Isiolo know me, okay? Now, based on what they want, I work hard in the name that when I go back home, they will say, oh, Zamzam alifanya vizuri, Zamzam anafanya pali fulani, Zamzam is a good girl, Zamzam is this and that. And there is something else about whereby, yeah, nimetoka home, nimekuja Nairobi, and chasing what I love. So as per you, how would you define, or what's the difference between a healthy self-development and being too hard on oneself?
Healthy and being too hard on yourself. You've said, let me talk about you now.
Okay.
So what you come from home and the people that you have back there that you want to show that you are progressing, that can be a motivating factor, but also it can hinder you from progress, because every time you are working with their goal, not yours, because you want them to see, but in real sense maybe that's not what you want. So you will get there, but the sense of fulfillment won't be there. So addressing healthy self-development and being too hard on yourself. So healthy self-development stems from wanting growth, wanting self-respect for yourself. But when you compare it to an unhealthy one, it stems from shame, doubt, and guilt and fear. So you are trying to change yourself so that people might accept you. You are trying to change yourself because you are fearful of what is going to happen. What will people say? The one that you've just said. The next one is when it's healthy, it allows you to learn and make mistake, which is a crucial part of human beings, which is making mistake. So from our mistake, we learn and we get back, we become stronger, and you have like a roadmap now to follow. So when it's unhealthy, it comes from self-criticism. It's always, why am I making this? You always focus on your flaws rather than your progress, rather than the effort you are putting. Another aspect of a healthy self-development, there's application of self-compassion, whereby I'm trying to improve myself mentally. But when it becomes too hard, I'm able to be kind to myself. I'm able to treat myself. When Zamzam comes to me and tells me, I've been trying to get to do this, but I'm unable to, you'll say, it's okay, you'll try harder, but it's hard to apply that to yourself. You are too hard on yourself to a point where you're always your self-critic. You're like, you are unable to see your progress. You are just like, why was it this way? So another aspect is perfectionism. With unhealthy self-development, you want everything to go perfectly. There's no room for flaw, no room for mistake, no room to even rest. So with unhealthy self-development, you'll find that eventually you start to experience anxiety and burnout, because you are not allowing yourself like to sit back, reflect on where you are. You are just focused where you are going. You're just focused on the result. So yeah, I think that's some of the...
Okay, when we talk about healthy self-development as an individual, how would I know that I'm really developing myself in the way that is supposed to be?
In the first one, what your goal, does it align with your values, or you are doing it because of comparison? Because Amina is doing this way, so I want to be that way. You are following someone's goal rather than following your own goal. You are not allowing yourself to rest, because you are a human being. We are wired to get tired. So you have the ability to know and say that I am tired, let me take a rest, come back to it again, come back to the drawing board. And sometimes development, self-development change. At one time you used to love something to do with lifestyle, and you are focused on lifestyle. Once you achieve that, you are supposed to be adaptable to a way you can shift your goal to change, because as you are growing, we are changing. Things that you used to love don't apply right now, and as you are growing, our life experiences make us change our view on self-development. So you are supposed to allow yourself to do that.
Okay, there is something else which people believe, or rather think, that it's a source of help. Now, in terms of self-development, there is something called motivational,
Yes.
and there is something else that is called maybe behavior or the environment. So how would you differentiate? Is motivational playing a bigger role in shaping oneself?
So with motivation, there are two types, the intrinsic and the extrinsic. So the intrinsic one is the one that comes from within. So I'm trying to self-develop so that I can improve in my career, so that I can improve my relationship, so that I can improve in my connections and all these things. So both of them work hand in hand. So this one that is within yourself, and then there's the extrinsic one, which is your environment and the people who are around you. So when the environment, you've talked about people growing in different areas. So you take an example of the West. That's an environment where empowers people to grow, to learn, to express themselves. When you come to our side, you'll find that expressing ourselves shows that you are weak. Wanting more shows that you are greedy. Sometimes you are like, I'm feeling stuck, I want a better job, and then someone's like, you're not grateful. But no, it's more about how our people that you are around, your parents, are the parents, friends, mentors, therapists who are around you, how are they able to add to what you have? When you feel you fall short, they're able to tell you, it's okay, you can go back, you can start again. So both of them play a very good part. And also our behavior. Our behavior, how we act, really, because you are the only one. I've talked about the key foundation of self-development, being self-aware. So if we are aware, these maladaptive behaviors. Usually when I get stressed, what do? I go to use drugs. When I get stressed, I become passive-aggressive. When I'm going through something, I apply avoidance. So you'll find that all this pattern eventually make you develop certain behavior and certain habits that won't support your personal development.
So in life, we have three different people. We have the introverts, we have the extrovert, and the ambivert. Now let's focus on these two people, leave alone the ambivert, who is a combination of introvert and extrovert. Now these people, we have that the kind of people who believes like this is self-development, so it's self, so I must be alone. There are others who feel like or believe that if I go out my way and seek assistance, then I'll be doing justice to myself. Now the question is, can I develop myself alone?
As we've talked, that's part of motivation, because this you can, but it's easier. And it's less tedious when you have people around, because when you say you want to do this self-development journey alone, sometimes we think we know ourselves. Sometimes you are unaware of these unhealthy patterns. So people around us, the feedback from them shows us maybe I have to change. Maybe there's something that I'm doing wrong. When you are doing it alone, it's hard to know where you are wrong. It's possible, yes, but it will require more effort. And it's less strenuous and more enjoyable when you have people around you to cheer. Not that it's a must, but when you have people you know that you can depend on, the people that can encourage you when you fall short, especially during that. When you're alone, you are able to recognize self-criticism, you are able to recognize those unhealthy patterns.
Okay. Yes. Now, something very important in this case, because you say it's really important for us to have the kind of people to cheer us up, but they normally say, tell me your friend and I tell you who you are. Now, mentioning these people, we have friends, we have psychologists, we have parents, we have siblings, sisters, brothers, we also have mentors. Now, according to you as a psychologist, which kind of people are best for us? Because it is not everybody who will accept, who are happy that you are succeeding in life.
That's true. When we talk about people around us, there'll always be both sides, the negative and the positive side. You'll find that people who grow up in an environment where it's encouraging, where it's motivating, where you are allowed to express yourself, where you are allowed to talk out your feeling, these people will end up developing high self-esteem, self-confidence, and it will be easier for them to go into any room and talk themselves out because they are used to. But as you've said, there are other factors, also the type of friends that you have. You might really want to change, but your friends are comfortable where they are. You, as a human being, we yearn for a sense of belonging. And where do you get that? Through our families, through our friends, and the people that you are around. So if your friends are not, their goals didn't align with your goal, it means that anytime you try to move, they'll drag you back. Anytime you are trying to change, they are like questioning, and it's always, they are always critiquing what you are doing. And also parents play a very big role in terms of our growth. So because let's take an example of a child. As a child, maybe you got your report card and then you performed really well, you are happy, you are number 3. And then I'm coming, Mom, Amina, Zam, this is my report card. And then she's like, oh, number 3. Why were you when the number 1 was being number 1?
Questioning.
So this will develop a limiting belief in your head. So every time you are trying to, you are searching perfectionism, and it will never be enough, because growing up you are told there's nothing more than perfect. It should only be perfect. Number 2 is not good. You are always supposed to be on top of everyone. So when you have that mentality, it will always be in your head to a point where it will be hard for you to succeed, because you are constantly searching for unrealistic things, because you do not take the process to go through where I was starting. You don't want to start. You don't always want to. I start something and successful within 2 days, because you have been taught and you have been hardwired to believe that is how it's supposed to be.
Okay, that can't be actually. Nifanye kazi and then I just want success in the next few minutes, in the next few days or so. And like Amina has said, like self-development is continuous and learning also is continuous. Therefore, you know, my people, they are psychologists, they are mentors, they are parents, they are everything, advisors. Perhaps I can pose this question to them. How do you ensure that you develop yourself? Perhaps someone out there really needs our support, and I'm actually loving this conversation because we all need to develop ourselves. Therefore, that question I pose to you, perhaps you can share your opinion through our numbers, perhaps down below the number there. And let's continue with our conversation after the break. Stay tuned.
JamiaTV, beacon for the nation.
Kiumbe dhaifu lakini jasiri,
alitunukiwa sura nzima,
sura inayompa daraja yake inavyostahiki, sharti ajigambe. Naam, na pepo ipo chini ya nyayo zake, mpamba nyumba na nyoyo za wapendwa wake,
anayebeba majukumu yake pasina kupinga.
Mtazamaji, je, unamfahamu anayezungumziwa?
Bila ya kusahau hadhi yake na haki zake.
Ungana nami Rahma Swaleh na Sheikh Juma Amir,
tukuelimishe na kukupa mwelekeo katika maisha ya ndoa,
kwenye kipindi Dira ya Mwanamke.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون.
Enyi mlioamini, unapoitwa kuhudhuria swala ya Ijumaa, fanyeni haraka kuikimbilia, muache biashara zenu. Hilo ni bora ikiwa mwelewa.
Isikilizeni kwa umakinifu khutba ya Ijumaa
ili uzidi kujenga imani yako na kupata faida nyingi ya siku hii.
Coming to you every Friday from Jamia Mosque, Nairobi.
live on JamiaTV.
Verse of the day.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
ويوم نسير الجبال وترى الأرض بارزة وحشرناهم فلم نغادر منهم أحدا وعرضوا على ربك صفا لقد جئتمونا كما خلقناكم أول مرة بل زعمتم أن لن نجعل لكم موعدا.
بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Kwa kusoma Qur'an ni lazima isomwe namna ilivyoteremshwa. Asema Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, warattilil Qur'ana tartila, uwe ni mwenye kusoma Qur'ani namna ilivyoteremka. Asema Dhihaki rahimahullahu ta'ala, harfan harfa, kuisoma herufi baada ya herufi. Na ni vipi tuisoma Qur'ani?
Kuna faida gani tupata tukimjua Mtume sallallahu alayhi wasallam,
nabii mwenye ushawishi mkubwa duniani?
Tukizikwa tukitiwa kaburini, tutaulizwa haya maswali matatu: man rabbuk, ma dinuk, man nabiyuk.
Sheikh Jamaluddin anakupa simulizi.
Huwezi kumpenda mtu usiyemjua
na kutambua sunna zake,
lakini ukimjua na ukimtambua Mtume Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, mapenzi yako yatazidi.
Ufahamu Rasulullah, familia na maswahaba wake. Tazama sira ya Mtume kila Jumatatu saa 1 jioni kwenye JamiaTV. JamiaTV, kurunzi ya taifa.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back and thank you so much for keeping it at JamiaTV. This is our second segment of the Muslim Insight Show, and it's quite an interesting topic to talk about: self-development. What do you think are the key factors to self-development? How do you help your friend, your people around you, to ensure that they are also developing oneself? And we continue the conversation looking deeply into the key factors of self-development. Amina, karibu.
Asante.
Perhaps you can take us through the key factors to self-development.
Before we start on the key factor of self-development, it's good to understand, and very important to understand, that self-development is a lifelong journey. It means that it doesn't stop. Maybe it stops maybe when we are dead, but we are constantly...
till death do us pass.
So it's more to do with every aspect of our life, and every situation that comes to our life brings about growth. So in that, the key aspect, the main one, which is self-awareness. Now that's the ability to understand yourself. You're understanding your emotions, understanding your behaviors, understanding your weaknesses, your strengths, your triggers, and also your mindset. Why? Because for self-growth to happen, the first thing should be awareness. It means that I should know where do I feel that I'm inadequate. Then now you can start the process. From there, you have already become aware. Now comes the goal setting. So this is where you identify what you want to change, what you want to improve. So for your goal, it should be specific. You don't say, I just want a good life. Good life, what do you mean? Specify, like narrow it down to one thing. I want a good life in a way I can express myself, in a way I can get a promotion. You want a promotion. That's you've identified the goal. You've already, that's specific. Then it should be measurable. It should have qualitative and quantitative measuring. In a way, you know where am I at in terms of my progress. So you're able to weigh. If it's something to do with your weight, so I'm at 80. I want to be at 60. So you know at the end of that, maybe 1 month, 1 year, you are able to weigh. Have I achieved it or not? Another thing, it should be realistic and relevant. Realistic in a way, you can't wake up one day and then say, I just want to be a CEO. It means that you have to have a realistic goal. So I should start by maybe going to campus, getting an administrative degree. From the degree, I work on my experience up to the point where now I become a CEO. And it should also be relevant in a way that it aligns with your goals, it aligns with your values. What do I feel is important? Is it family? Is it community? Is it work? Is it religion? So it should align with that. And the last one is time bound. Your goal should have a time limit. I want to achieve this by 1 month. Is it a short-term goal that is for 1 week? Is it a long-term goal that takes 1 year or something? Another aspect is emotional regulation. For self-development to happen, you have to learn how to manage your emotion, how to control your emotion, how to react in certain situations, what to do when you're undergoing stress, what to do when you're undergoing loss. So once you learn that, that comes with the emotional development. Then there's also the factor of emotional intelligence, which is knowing and understanding your emotions, your behaviors, and how it affects other people. It's not only about you, it's how whatever you do affects other people also. Another aspect is social support. We've talked about that. So it's who do I need? Do I need mentors? Do I need resources? Do I need family to back me? Because as you are growing, you'll need feedback to know where am I at in terms of where you are in your self-development. So, and other minor thing can be mentorship. Other key aspect of self-development can be consistency. Because we know that consistency means doing something repeated. Like it means showing up. Sometimes you might be tired, sometimes you might not have that mood, but it doesn't mean that you should do that thing with the same magnitude, with the same intensity. So long as you've shown up, it's okay. Also discipline, because for self-development to be successful, you have to, there's a saying that say, you should follow the plan, not your mood. Because I can't wake up today, I feel a bit low, I won't do what I'm supposed to be doing. Then the self-development won't be successful. Yes, there's also aspect of adaptability, where you have to know to change, to accommodate change. And also resilience. Sometimes some goals are hard to achieve, so you have to push yourself, you have to encourage yourself.
Okay, wow, that is really well elaborated, mashallah. And I remember something when you were talking about self-awareness and also goal setting. And this is something that we used to be told while at school also. When it comes to self-awareness, they ask people or students to do a SWOT analysis, the SWOT, which is strength. What is your strength? What are your weaknesses? What opportunities are there for you to grasp, and the threats that are there? Also, when you talked about goal setting, you are explaining more about the SMART. We were told don't just study hard, study smart, okay? And smart for specific, your goal must be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound, because the way you have mentioned. Is it something that is for a short period of time? Is it something for a long period of time? That is really amazing, mashallah. Now, let's move to the next thing. And this is where most of the people fall. We tend to find people starting a self-development journey, and in the middle of their journey, they perhaps drop out. No, and I'm not talking about school dropouts, but I'm talking about self-development dropout. You drop out from the journey that you had started due to maybe different beliefs, whatever you have in mind. So as a psychologist, perhaps you can tell us, what are these common limiting beliefs hindering people from self-development?
Okay, so we'll start by defining the limiting beliefs. The limiting beliefs are thoughts and assumptions that you hold about ourselves and also our world that restrict what we think is possible. So these limiting beliefs stem from our childhood. It stems from our past life experiences. It also stems from criticism from others, and these are some of the factors that build our self-belief, our limiting belief. And this limiting belief hinder us from wanting success because you are unable to believe it's possible. So some of the limiting beliefs are I cannot amount to anything.
Okay.
If I make a mistake, I am a failure. I am stupid. Things to do with I cannot achieve anything. Change is difficult. It's too late to change because I'm already 25, I'm already 30. So these are some of the limiting beliefs we tell ourselves. This limiting, as I've talked about, they stem from our experiences. As I talked about as a child, how your primary caregiver used to respond to you. Were they passive about your emotion? Were they meeting your needs? So you will grow up learning that it's okay not to have all this in our life, and you know that I'm not successful. Also our society and where we come from. Like you've said, there are places where, you know, that when you maybe go to high school, it's like it's the biggest achievement. Or in your family, nobody has ever gone to campus. So for you, as you are going through your education, you are like, I'll only finish Form 4, then it's done for me.
Kama wale wengine.
Kama wale wengine.
Okay. Any other common limits hindering people from developing, from self-development?
Mostly they are to do with, you know, limiting beliefs is a form of cognitive distortion. In a way, your life experiences has wired your brain to think this is what it's supposed to be, but in real sense, it's not supposed to be that way. So it's more about not believing yourself. You are not, you're growing up, you do not have self-efficacy. In a way, you don't believe that I can make it. It's possible for me to be successful.
Now, as an individual, maybe with all these beliefs in mind that I cannot succeed because I come from a poor family, or I come from a certain family, I cannot succeed because I am unable, and blah, blah, blah. Now, how do I challenge these beliefs? How do I come from this mud, come out from this mud?
So with limiting beliefs, you'll find that they have a core where it started. So the first step is to identify what's my limiting belief. I can't amount to anything. That's an example. I am a failure. So you've already identified. So the next step is to challenge or question. When I say I'm a failure or I can't amount to anything, so take a look, like give evidence against it. Example, Zamzam, you are from Isiolo. You moved from Isiolo to come to Nairobi. You are there. I think maybe you did journalism degree. You are now a host at Jamia. That's a big thing. But in your mind, you can't amount anything. So these are evidences against. Look at your successes throughout your life. And once you have already established, it's not that, now you start to replace it with a now positive and also abundance belief. In a way, you are like, if I put my mind to something, I can achieve. If I start a skill or not I must, but I will be successful. So you just you start small, consistently telling yourself that. You can also use affirmations, daily affirmations, which will help with enforcing that belief on you.
Okay, in life, we are saying that challenges are there, and these challenges are making us, or it's a factor for us to know whether we are coming up from the ground, or we are just going to stay there. So from your point of view, do you think that the negative comments we get in terms of, or in the success journey, or in the self-development journey, is important for us?
The negative? I don't think. There's a way whereby you can give feedback without it being negative. Because
okay, what I'm trying to say is, we have people who does not, or are not happy with how well you're progressing. Now, maybe there are other people who are there to assist you. Therefore, they're telling you, Amina, hivi venye unafanya is not the way. Maybe you can change something. So you're getting that feedback, or getting that review from other people.
It's very important. I think I talked about it previously, because when we are on our own, we're trying to get through that self-development journey on our own, sometimes you might not be able to see. We are looking at things from our own lenses, but there's a lot of things happening around us. Growing up, there are a lot of things that we've learned that are not right. So feedback from other people shows it can help to know where you are at. Sometimes you have to differentiate ability to who you are taking the feedback from. Because no, you can't listen to everyone, because as you've said, some people don't want you to progress in life. So the people that you love and the people that you trust, what are they telling you? Sometimes it can come from projection, but when you sit down, reflect through journaling, reflect through therapy, reflect through maybe talking to a friend. So you'll find that it will spark the self-awareness in you that maybe I'm not doing things right, or maybe I need more effort in this part, because or sometimes you might even be in a way you believe that I'm not doing anything, but feedback from other people like, oh, I didn't know I was here. Because as you are growing, we never get the chance to sit back and look at our growth. I can give an example of myself. Growing up, I was really, really shy. I could not talk in front of people and everything. So when I was talking to my mom at 4 yesterday, she told me, who's that girl you had a picture with? I said, it's not a girl, she's a host. I'm going to appear on JamiaTV to talk about self-development. And then she took her gasp, and then she was like, when did you become this person? And then she was telling, my sister-in-law was there, and then she was telling me, you know, Amina used never. And then that's when even it hit me. When did I have this courage and this self-confidence to be able to come and talk to a national TV? And then, so it takes people around us sometimes to tell us, you are getting on the right path, you are growing. Yes.
Okay, wow, amazing. And I'm really glad that you're here today, mashallah. And
also
this conversation is really, really interesting and amazing. I hope we have someone out there who is facing difficulties in terms of self-development. And I can see also time is really moving so fast. Now, let's continue. What shapes our personal development?
We can't say one thing shapes our, one factor shapes our personal, but it's a combination of a lot. And we've talked about several. So our childhood, our upbringing, which is the primary and the first place where we start our self-development. So the people around us, our parents, our siblings, how do they behave? How do they view us? From there, now you go to the environment. The environment, people around us, our neighbors, shape our self-development and how we view ourselves. From that also, in education, we go into school and learn about who we are, learn about self-esteem, learn about self-confidence, and this all things makes us develop. Other factors is culture. because we come from different culture. There are culture which supports self-development, which it's really encouraged, like gender roles and how they view on success over our culture, also our religion. And there's an ayah in Surah 13 that talks about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that he will never change a society unless you change yourself. What does that mean? You have to work on your self-development first. You have to change maybe how you are so that Allah can change even the society around. But most of us want the society to change so that you can change with it. And also Allah, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is our biggest example. We know he should emulate his behavior, and we know how he used to deal with people, how he used to talk to people, how he used to deal with the struggles that he has gone through. So this shows his self-development encourages ours, and our religion also gives us a sense of identity, sense of purpose, so we align with that. Also, there are other factors that shape our self-development, which is, you've talked about our personality. The introverted, the extroverted, the ambivert. For the extroverted, they are really out there. They push them. They are not scared to start tasks. And contrary to somebody who's introverted, they are scared to get into rooms. They are scared to be around people. So it will hinder their self-development. I think those are some of the factors that where we get our self-development from. Okay, wow, that's amazing, mashallah. And can you say that, you know, most people have their thinking, everyone has their own thinking. Now, there is this kind of a person, when you talked about personality, we have the introvert, the extrovert, and they're like, huyu akona kierere. And there is another one, they say, huyu ni mshy, you know. Now, how do you explain that aspect? I'm a person, perhaps I'm an extrovert. Let me give an example. I'm an extrovert, and then because I want to develop myself, and I get a comment whereby, does it hinder me from pursuing or developing myself? Personally, it depends with who you are. If you let these background noises, because these are negative criticism, because you, depends with your intention, where are you at, why am I doing all these things for your self-growth. So this person that is saying that you are kiherehere, if you listen to them, you will never go to another place. But if it depends with what you want, mostly because people will always talk. Or the Swahili people say, wataongea usiku watalala. So it should not hinder you. Yes, it can if you listen to it. But if you don't, just use it as a fuel and show them that yes, and once you achieve your success, they'll know where the kiherehere now is going to. Yes. Okay, well, amazing. Now, as we wind up with our last question, and very important one, is for a person who's watching us right now, I believe there are so many people who are watching us, and they would really, really want to start their self-development journey. As a psychologist, what do you think would be the practical steps, the key practical steps they should take in terms of starting this self-development journey? Okay, I'll start with there's no right age for change. There's no right time for self-development. The best thing is that for self-development to start, self-awareness. That means understanding yourself. What do you want? Where do you want to improve? Which areas do you want to improve? Once you've already established that, now you can start. You can get self-awareness, I've talked about, through feedback from other people. You can get it through journaling. You can get it through listening, and also listening to yourself and your needs. So after you've already established what you want, now you start small steps. For what we do wrongly mostly, we start with our goal, focused on our results. But sometimes looking at our progress, looking at our effort will give us more fuel, will be more motivating. So you've already established, now we start small habits, small goals, and break down your goals so it can be easily achievable. Now, what do you need? Resources from your friends, consistency, a mentorship, therapy, anything that can make that stick. Yes.
Okay. Now, last thing is, what would your last take be?
My last take is that when we talk about self-development, we tend to think it's about being a new person, changing who you are. But in real sense, is discovering yourself and working on that to have a self-fulfilled life. When we are living to talk about there's a psychologist Abraham Maslow, he talks about hierarchy of needs, and on top it's self-actualization, where you've developed yourself to a point where you're fulfilled with who you are, to a point where you are done with you're not done with development, but you have done so good for yourself to a point now you are giving back to the community. So it's not a point where everyone reaches. So it's mostly about consistency, discipline, and understanding sometimes it might be hard, because and learning that we are beginners in everything. You never were born walking. You never were born fluent. You never were born a psychologist. So every phase of our life we are beginners. So let's embrace being beginners.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much, Amina. That was really an amazing conversation, and I hope that everything is clear to our viewers on self-development. And I would love to say that personal development or self-development is a lifelong process, and learning is continuous. Therefore, as Amina has said, is do a self-awareness analysis, do the SWOT analysis. I think I've also mentioned about that one. So as a person who would want to develop oneself is must be aware of who you are. You must know your strength, you must know your weaknesses, you must know your opportunities that are around you so that you can grasp them. You must know the threats or the things that are hindering you from achieving what you want. Again, she's talked about setting goals. And setting goals, you must set SMART goals. And the way we used to be told in school, you must learn, or rather study smart, not study hard. Therefore, the SMART means that you must be specific. What do you want? It must be something that is measurable. It is something that it is achievable, realistic, and time-bound. And that was really amazing. Make sure if you are not able to follow up, or rather follow on this conversation, perhaps you can get it on YouTube also. Make sure you get to listen to it. And last but not least, today is Friday, and the Friday bulletin is there with us. Therefore, make sure you grab yourself a copy so that you can be on the know of what is happening around us, inshallah. Until next week, I have been your host, Zamzam Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.